can't do this anymore.
Hello, the wonderful people of YouTube. I'm Poet, to my left is...
David Vianney.
Now, this happens to be a show where you leave your comments below. And guess what it's called?
Is it comments below?
Oh my God, it is. Everyone, leave your comments below about anything, then we review it. We talk about it. Some are football related, some for some strange reason, about like David's hair, David's nose, David's complexion. But please, this is only possible if you do what? Subscribe. Subscribe. And then at the end of the show, there's an epic moment, which can only be described as Comment of the Week. Let's get on to the first comment, which happens to be David.
From Andrew Silva, which is, Stuart Downing scoring 2 games in a row. Is he finally getting better, or is he still shit?
Because even a broken clock is right twice a day. So as far as I'm concerned, he's still shit. But he did score with his head and his right foot, which is getting quite impressive.
Yeah, Tottenham played Liverpool at home, and we won. I was really happy. I thought we were going to win, though. I was quite confident. We've been playing much better these past few weeks, and Stuart Downing, he's doing better.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lift him into the skies. He's not Jesus yet, you know. He's not Suarez.
Nah.
The goal was just strange because the keeper, I don't know what he was doing. But then Downing took the ball. What I found really strange was there you had Suarez on your left who could just tap it in, but he thought, I want to drill it right down the middle where the player is standing. Thank God it went through his legs.
I think that's credit to Brendan Rodgers because it seemed like he was playing left back at the start of the season, really down, not a lot of confidence. Obviously, something Brendan Rodgers said to him has reignited his confidence.
Yeah, he's left back on the bench, and now he's playing
wing
where he's meant to play. And you know, we won, man. You know, we are like 7 points off 4th. I'm sounding like Brendan Rodgers. I sound like I actually think we can get 4th.
Apparently.
But Liverpool, carry on. I'm really happy with you.
Well done, Liverpool.
Coutinho doing his thing.
An amazing
once
player.
again. And Sturridge is a good signing. What I'm saying is, Torres, come back. Come back, El Nino.
Yeah.
And then we're going to win the league.
I won't go that far. I think just in the middle of the park, you're not strong enough, though. I mean, Joey Allen's about skinny as us, like 5'1", looks like a midget, looks like a garden gnome. I'm like, I'm not really convinced by him.
Steven Gerrard just looks like he's depressed these days.
He does. Do you know what?
Always like
Do you smile, Gerrard? Why does he always look so upset?
Why is his forehead always like this? It never changes. When he won the Champions League, you know. Yeah, we won the Champions League. How do you feel, Stephen? And he just had that, it's just there. He never changes expression.
And then
how does he do it? It hurts. Next comment. This is from one of the team.
Who is he?
Someone from Copper 90. This is from the guy that everyone hates.
Who's that? My dad?
No, it's just an official FIFA player.
Oh, that also. Well, he's really angry. Nothing new there. Oi, waste men, stop mugging me off. We're supposed to be on the same team. Just because I would smash you both at FIFA, don't mean you have to be dickheads. You better start recognising that I am the best, or else I'm going to come down there and teach you a lesson. Considering the fact that we're having issues with him, we thought the best way to resolve this is to invite him down. Like, welcome to our house. It's not particularly big. There's ugly posters in the background, but I'm sure you'll blend in.
We're going to become friends.
Friends?
Probably not.
I think it's that time we got to welcome him in, because we've made space.
Woo! Welcome the FIFA player! Woo!
Yo, what's up? It's the FIFA player, baby! Alright, boys?
You alright?
What's this?
Oh, that's because you're shit.
You mugging me off? This is what I've come here for! You guys keep mugging me off for this show! We're supposed to be on the same team, mate!
But I think are you really violent, mate?
I don't like it when people do this rubbish! How do you like it, eh?
Have you heard of like morphine and like...
Who's that? Your sister?
Codeine.
Give me a number.
No, she's 14.
Maybe not.
Everybody thinks that you are me. Everybody thinks that I'm you.
I don't get that. I don't get why they think, look at us, do we look the same?
You know what? This myth has now been dispelled, or however you want to say it. I am not the FIFA player.
Some people think you're in me as well. What's that about?
I'm black.
Why are you like this? Why are you so violent?
I'm not violent, mate. I just got things to do. I got people to prove I'm better at FIFA than them, including you two, right? I'm from the street. If you don't talk like this where I'm from, this happens. Like that.
Well, you're from Iraq. We've got a few comments about you from your other videos, and we're going to read some out for you.
You just tell us what you think in a very nice way.
And stay calm.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
This one's from Nick Ros1.
Dickhead.
No, he didn't say that, but he did say, fuck, I hate FIFA player. He's so arrogant and loud. I hate all the videos he is in.
Do you know what this is though, yeah, right? My mum used to say to me, when these guys leave comments on your videos like that, they want to be you, they're jealous of you. All these bad comments, they want to be the player. You can't be the FIFA player. I'm different level shit.
Go on.
It's from Jamie Toner. Anyone could beat the FIFA player.
People don't like it when a new kid turns up on the block and starts ruffling a few fucking feathers. Yeah? You see a feather, I ruffle it. That's what I do.
Oh, here's Nat Leaf. Why does he always wear a bandana?
If I took this off, that door would be about 5 policemen in about 3 minutes.
Did you nick a microwave at the Tottenham riots?
No, I didn't
Argos.
actually nick anything in the riots.
No.
I arranged that whole thing. Sat back and watched it happen. We're on the same team, right?
Yeah.
You have to remember this. Me and you, we're like brothers, mate.
Probably not, if I'm honest. My brother's really nice. You're really harsh and you wear a silly
If
hat.
you get to know me, you'll see I'm actually an alright lad. Right? And what I don't like is people trying to tell me they could beat me at FIFA, trying to say, this isn't fucking great Garms, mate. You ain't got this, have you? You want to have this. We'll swap if you want. I'll give it to you.
It's not, I mean...
It's not great.
It's Slazenger. It's Slazenger.
Yeah.
Slazenger, you can't even say it right,
Tim
mate.
Henman used to wear it.
Exactly, Tim
tennis.
Henman, he was one of the best.
He never won Wimbledon. And you obviously...
But he's sick at FIFA.
Speaking of playing FIFA, you left a comment on the last comments below, and you said that we're both shit.
Thing is, compared to me, everyone is shit at FIFA.
we
Don't
play-
take it personal.
I won't.
I feel like I'm going to beat you with one hand, with Downing on the left and Henderson in the middle.
You're going to be Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is going to be easy. Watch it, FIFA player's going to take on this mug.
Anyway, you've overstayed your welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Would you mind fucking off that way? See you in a bit, and I'm going to beat you at FIFA.
Alright boys, pipe.
Take
See you
care.
later, pal.
Nice.
I'll see you at FIFA, mate. It's going to be nice. Feel it, live it, FIFA player, hashtag player army. See you on the other side. Boys, comments below, subscribe there, mug. See ya.
Wow. I think I've seen him in Job Centre once. All right, that was
Weird. Next comment!
the Carnage one. Has said, hey dudes, loving the show. What do you guys think? Barca v Milan. Now, at San Siro, I honestly thought Barca were going to get a draw. They've been there numerous times. I think the last time they went there, they won 3-2. I remember they've got a decent history there. I remember watching Dino in 2006, the time they went to the finals to beat Arsenal. And Dino's played a fantastic ball to Julie. They've won there. They seem to have a good record at San Siro. I did not see that 2-0 coming. I think like Italian sides are just so well organised in situations like this that they have to go there and get a draw.
And they need
And I think that they can get a draw at Barcelona. They're not really in a particularly good run right now.
Unless Barca do the whole magic thing and just put away like 3 and 4 minutes like Wigan against Everton. You just never know in football, do
You never know.
You just do not know what's going to happen. What do you think? Leave some comments during the game. You know, like
Please, let us know.
It for the Man U game, and I was loving it. I was just looking at the comments. I wasn't even watching the game, just seeing comments flying.
what
I
might
think
happen that
3-1 Barca. There we go.
You reckon so?
3-1 Barca.
Which will still leave them out of the competition.
Yeah.
All right, well, looks like we're saying AC Milan are going through.
The Eurofan this week is going to Schalke. He's going to be watching Schalke against Galatasaray. Obviously, the first leg was 1-1. It's going to probably be a very good game.
Pretty good.
I personally hope Galatasaray win. But
Go
we'll
on,
see.
Gala.
We'll see. Make sure to watch the show. Last week, we asked where you were watching from. And we had loads and loads of countries, loads of comments from Saudi Arabia to like Peru. And look at all these wonderful countries popping up on the screen. And this is our audience.
Oh my God, there's so many. Look, there's Brixton.
Wow, so many countries. Look at them scrolling.
They're everywhere.
Countries.
Countries are just in my face.
Dripping. Look at all these countries.
Oh, these countries, so seductive.
I like countries. Oh, look at that geographical
Wonderful.
shape of this country.
Immigration, hit me now.
It's square.
Let me fly away.
Wow, the country. Population. Whoa.
So many
Communism. I was loads of countries, I think. If you saw your country, wicked. Thank you for watching from your country and keep subscribing from your country.
Yeah, go for it.
Fuck!
Sorry, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Anyway.
He's gonna get some energy, hurry up. It's like the Holy Ghost in church, innit? It is time for the quick fire round.
How many comments did we do last week? 19. And one made me go slow. Prick. So now we're going to try and beat 19. I'm really excited, as you can see. Let's do this. Oh no, you got to do the timer as well. Whoa.
Why did you take it from there?
Doesn't smell fart, does it?
I just feel uncomfortable knowing that, do you know what I mean?
Not farting it, come on. We're comfortable with one another.
We are, but you know.
Let's do this. Come on!
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Does Copper 90 disallow you from lifting weights? Surprise those tablets on snapping those twiglet arms. We're not we're underfed.
Yeah.
What do you think of Cardiff's chances of getting promoted this year? They're quite good. Can Poet please show us his head? David, I have a crush on this Serbian hottie. Do you have any suggestions on how to seduce her? Oh, možda me jebeš. Oh, cool. Who is the best looking footballer?
Now Ranger.
Cool. I like being casually mentioned on the show now. Haha, thanks lads. Hey Emily. Are you guys ever play football in real life for a team? If so, what position and when? Are you guys still play football?
Sweeper.
A goalkeeper at school. Have you not? Oh, is that Kazim Richards in the Tottenham Arsenal clip?
Yes. Faster, David.
Take down that Alana post in the background or I'm unsubscribing.
Goodbye.
Unsubscribe. My dog loves you guys and Poet makes my dog bark.
Whoa.
Poet looks like a peacock. What is your favourite second sport? Handball. Say Copper 90 backwards in 90 OPAC. Warane is the best CB in the world right now. Is he? Can it be that the reality is the FIFA player? No. We just proved it. We just think that replace Saf when he retires.
A man.
I don't know. Poet, have you ever listened to about wearing a hat? He was born with a hat. What does David hair look like a troll shat on it? Leave my hair alone. What course are you studying? Politics. Do you think my beloved team Aston Villa will survive the drop? No. 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, 19.
19.
Man got 19. We got 19 again.
So we equaled. But you know what? That's good because consistency
is key.
Repetition is the mother of all learning.
Look at my cute face.
What the fuck's that got to do with repetition?
I don't know. I just wanted to do my cute face. I kind of feel pretty when I do it.
What the fuck is going on? Where are we?
Look, I'm wearing green skinny. I'm losing it, mate.
All right. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We're at that epic moment in the show, only described as
Commentaar van de week.
And that was Dutch.
Keep leaving your suggestions.
Please.
But remember, when you do leave your suggestion, leave how to say it in that language because we don't know Bengali. We can't really guess.
The comment of the week this week is from Tame Iwan. If you could integrate any other sport with football and create a mix, what would it be?
What would it be?
For me, it'd be ice hockey, for the simple fact that I feel there's times within football, you just want to punch someone. And in ice hockey, you can just fight, you can beat someone up. So imagine like, I don't know, Yap Stam versus Roy Keane, for example. Gaffers, imagine Mourinho and Ferguson getting into a fight. Or David Moyes and Ferguson. Maybe they should integrate boxing and football. Just stop the whole thing, put a man, you know, say there's a massive challenge, they can't dispute what they're going to do. All right, let's get the boxing ring out. Boom, boxing ring. The referee turns into the guy in the middle, get some sexy girls to come out, round one, have a fight, and then carry on with the football.
It'd be very entertaining. For me, it would be water polo and football.
How would it work?
Basically, what you'd have is you've got four quarters of the pitch. So the first quarter will be grass.
Yeah.
The next will be water. The next will be grass, and the next one will be water. So it's like, to move on, they've got to like swim, and then like, you've got the goal, but the keeper's like, on one side, he's like, on the other side, he's just there, standing, and like, they've got to like climb onto the pitch again, play football, and then it's like, wherever the ball goes, it's like, it's so fucking crazy, wouldn't it be insane?
That would be...
And then like, you switch ends, so then obviously the other keeper on the other one's going to be like, but then the other one's going to be chilling. So it's like a hectic mix of two sports.
That was our comment of the week. Please make sure you leave more comments and we can finally choose yours as comment of the week if you've been leaving loads in the past. But do you know what's so sad? What? You know why I dragged this part on?
So sad.
So sad.
It's a sad situation that me and Paul would have to go.
Proper.
But you know what you can do? You can subscribe. We're going to leave you now.
Yeah.
And look out for me playing the FIFA player and beating him with Liverpool and downing on the win. I'm going home, man. Bye.
Take 2 sips on a liquor, already done that, you know I'm getting pissed up. So
Thank
I
you,
have to take 2 draws on a cigarette.
Come raving with us, people.
The upsets like bad checks, didn't get a rewind and he got bad decks.
Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy the FIFA player.